We'll call the regular meeting of the Upshur County Commission to order. We'll begin with a moment of silent meditation and prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, at this time, we'll have the reading of the minutes of the October 31st, 2013 meeting. Good morning, Jackie.
Good morning. The County Commission of Upshur County, West Virginia held their regular meeting at the Courthouse Annex on Thursday, October 31, 2013 at 9 a.m. Donnie Tenney called the meeting to order. There were present Donnie Tenney, Commissioner, J.C. Rafferty, Commissioner, Troy Brady, Commissioner, Megan Pomeroy, County Administrator, Jennifer Dinklow, Assistant County Administrator, and Jacqueline Dinklocker, Secretary. The meeting began with a moment of silent meditation and prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. All motions passed unanimously, unless otherwise stated. After reading of the minutes, on motion by J.C. Rafferty, seconded by Troy Brady, the Commission approved the regular meeting minutes of October 24, 2013, as submitted. After discussion, on motion by Troy Brady, seconded by J.C. Rafferty, the Commission approved the employment of Lisa Mae Lipscomb as full-time tax deputy effective November 18, 2013, at the rate of $9 per hour. Megan Pomeroy provided a review of correspondence from Joyce Harris Thacker, James W. Curry, Library and Park Advisory Board member, concerning a request for information and pay raise for Jonathan Freeman, maintenance personnel. Megan Pomeroy was requested to follow up with the advisory board to provide the requested information and to advise the board that pay raise requests would be addressed during budget meetings for the 2014 fiscal year. Patty Adams, Pancreatic Cancer Action Network representative, presented the Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month proclamation. The purpose of the proclamation is to bring increased awareness of the incidence of pancreatic cancer as the fourth leading cause of cancer deaths in America, with a goal of increased funding for the research, patient services, and public awareness and education related to developing effective treatments for a cure for pancreatic cancer. The proclamation designates November as Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month in Upshur County. After discussion on motion by Troy Brady, seconded by J.C. Rafferty, the Commission approved and authorized the Commission to sign the proclamation. After discussion on motion by J.C. Rafferty, seconded by Troy Brady, the Commission approved and authorized the President to sign the ACH authorization release form concerning EBSO Incorporated, which allows them to initiate entries into First Community Bank checking account. The action is due to the name change from SOMI Incorporated to EBSO Incorporated. Megan Pomeroy provided an update/review of the application for the West Virginia Courthouse Facilities Improvement Grant in the amount of $20,000 to be used for the removal of courthouse building chimneys. After discussion on motion by J.C. Rafferty, seconded by Troy Brady, the Commission approved and authorized the President to sign the grant application and related documents. Donnie Tenney and Megan Pomeroy reviewed the following for your information items. Number one, review of the Notice of Award of the Division of Justice and Community Service Grant Award 13 JHE 27 in the amount of $20,000, July 1, 2013 through June 30, 2014. Number two, press release from the CCAWV Executive Director, Vivian Parsons. CCAWV Board's legislation stance on salary increase, discussion concerning economic impact of the completion of Corridor H. Number three, correspondence from Joe DeLong, Executive Director of West Virginia Regional Jail Authority, regarding per diem rate for fiscal year 2014. Number four, correspondence from James F. McCulty, President of Roane County Economic Development Authority, reactivation of US 33 as the Blue and Gray Trail. Number 5, NACO prescription drug discount program update. Number 6, Upshur County Sheriff's financial statement, July and August 2013. Number 6, Upshur County Sheriff's financial statement, July and August 2013. Number 7, agendas and notices of meetings as listed. Number 8, meeting minutes and/or financial reports as listed. Number 9, meetings as listed. Number 10, appointments needed or upcoming as listed. The Commission approved all invoices for payment. The Commission approved all vacation orders. The Commission approved the following settlements as listed. The Commission approved the following exonerations and/or refunds as listed. The Commission approved the following requests for time out of office as listed. Michael Calgar, Upshur County resident and Create Buchanan member, appeared before the Commission and expressed concerns regarding the financing of holiday lighting and other municipal projects. With no further business, a motion by J.C. Rafferty, seconded by Troy Brady. The Commission meeting adjourned at 11 a.m.
Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes as read? Not, I'll ask for a motion to be approved as such.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Jackie. And our first scheduled appointment is at 1 o'clock, our supervisor meeting, and 2 o'clock, our policy board meeting. But we have several other items for discussion and possible action and approval. First being resolution of participation, Upshur County Development Authority's representation of Upshur County as the local economic development organization. The purpose in doing this is that they will get their $40,000 unless they cut that from the state that they give to the different county development authorities.
Right, they need a resolution every year in order to apply for the LED grant.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So this is just an ongoing thing that we do. So I would ask for a motion that we approve and authorize the president to sign in all documents.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next, order to approve the number of election officials and election commissioners for the February 8th, 2014 school levy election.
And this just indicates all of the different voting locations, the number of commissioners, clerks, and alternates you need. The first page is Republicans, and the second page is for Democrats.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve this order of the number of election officials?
So moved.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next is order to approve the number of sets of emergency absentee voter commissioners for the February 8th, 2014 school levy election. That's just a substitute, absentee, right?
Correct.
So we have a motion to approve this list.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item, review correspondence from the State Tax Department certifying Helen R. Phillips completion of assessor's additional duties per West Virginia Code 7-7-6A, approval of $15,000 additional compensation payment per West Virginia Code 7-7-6B.
And this is something that's set by code where if the assessor performs certain duties such as the sales ratio analysis, real property transfers, businesses that have been added or taken off the assessment rolls, then by statute they get this additional compensation.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve?
And she's self-certified, I see. So.
Yes.
Or do we even approve? Is this something we have to approve?
I think just to make the payment for our accountant, I believe, our bookkeeper.
Probably approve
Authorize
a payment based
Right.
on the certification from the state.
Right.
All right, another motion, please.
So
So,
moved.
okay, I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Next item, review and approval of commercial lease amendment, Community Corrections Program effective December 1, 2013.
This is just another amendment to their existing, agreement. I believe now they're just including all of their utilities, water, sewer, trash in their monthly rent rather than splitting it out.
And that, And then that will be $800 per month, including all utilities, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And the only reason we're approving this is because we're the fiscal agents for the Community Corrections Program?
Correct.
Okay. So we have a motion to approve this lease agreement and authorize the President to sign any and all documents pertaining thereto.
So moved.
I'll second it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. West Virginia Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Management Non-Disclosure Agreement, Missed Utility County Service Grid Datasets.
And these are actually maps that we get from the state for utility lines, I believe, that are in the ground. They give those to each of the counties so that we can implement it into our mapping program.
Good,
And give that to 911 Center so that they'll know where all that is.
good.
And this is to maintain proprietary information.
Right,
and-
similar to what we have for our.
Right.
We have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approval for signature, Community Participation Grant, Banks District Volunteer Fire Department for $4,000.
And this is for banks. I believe they are planning on purchasing various equipments. I think they were also thinking about getting a utility vehicle. and other
Gator,
equipment.
like a, yeah.
ATV or
Right.
something.
ATV, yeah.
Right. I think that was their goal.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the grant and authorize the President to sign the documentation there.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Next item, approval of E911 dispatcher resignation Jacqueline L. Penny effective November the 1st, 2013. And we lose another dispatcher.
Now, was she a trainee or was she?
No, I believe
was
she'd been there.
longstanding. So I thought.
6 vacancies to fill. Okay. Well, do we have a motion to accept the resignation?
So moved.
I'll second it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Employment approval of Upshur County Fire Fee Clerk at $9 per hour effective December the 2nd, 2013. Brittany Nicole Morgan. This is our new fire fee clerk.
Yes, and both the sheriff and the tax deputy were involved in those interviews. They kind of narrowed the field, and then the fire board had some of their
Ed Beer,
board members involved in the
the
interview process
president,
as well.
Ed Beer was interviewed.
Right. So they're all in agreement, and they all recommended Ms. Morgan.
Did they have a lot of applications for this?
I believe they did.
Yeah.
48.
Yeah.
48.
Yes. And they had some good ones, but as always, you can only pick one, so there was several good candidates that applied for that.
All right, do we have a motion to approve the request for employment?
So moved.
I'll second it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. So, we have some items for your information. Notice of election to authorize continuation of additional levies, FY 14 to 18, general current expenses, and of the public schools in Upshur County. Would you like to elaborate on that, maybe?
That is simply what we received from the Board of Education, which notifies everyone of their intent to hold an election, and of course that gives a bit of detail in that notice.
On the levy, what all's going to be, or is this, well, that's there for your reading, enjoyment, edification. Correspondence from the United States Department of Commerce, suspension of the 2014 Boundary and Annexation Survey.
That seems to be a budgetary issue, and I think it's, as of right now, only for this coming fiscal year, I believe it was.
And I would say
From
that's
October
yeah,
2013 to September 2014.
probably a victim of the sequestration.
So they're not going to do the, is that what this says? They're not going to do the survey?
Correct. Yeah, I believe it's the census of all the boundaries. So they just won't be collecting that information this coming year, I believe.
Okay. And we have our Regional Jail Authority statement for October 2013 of $58,093. And I did attend, along with Amanda, Judge Alloy's presentation and talk about the drug court. And he basically just echoed what everyone else has been saying about putting people in jail and prison. You just make better criminals out of them when they come out. Then they're just better criminals and more knowledgeable and more adept to being better criminals. And I did read an article, although I know there's more to a lot of these articles. It was talking about Germany and some other country about how their jail population is a small percentage of the United States because the difference in the way they handle their criminals. But I think there was a lot of good information in that's along with what the governor's task force that actually talked about a little bit at our roundtable legislative meeting, that in looking at more rehabilitation for folks than just putting them in jail and they come out and they're not rehabilitated, they're not ready, they're not able, and they're not equipped to come back into society and lead normal and productive lives. But one thing that Judge Alloy did say, that over the last 75, 80 years, that the theory's been just lock them up, and that's not worked because it's just, as this regional jail bill shows, it's exploding. And if we look at the statistics on drug use and abuse, it's not going to get any better. It's only going to get worse. So there's going to have to be something done to help these folks with drug problems instead of just spending the money to lock them up and not giving them any help, because it's not working. And so hopefully through the efforts of all levels of government, they'll start looking at it in a different manner, to where you understand that people that have a drug problem need help. They don't need locked up, because that doesn't help them a bit. So anyway, it was interesting.
They need something to do with their hands.
Well, that's a lot of it right there. That's a lot of it.
Put a ball and chain on their leg and let them go out there and work.
Well, the problem...
They can either carry the ball and run, or...
That's the good thing today. When I was growing up, there were a lot of people that, even if you didn't live on a farm, you lived in a rural area, and you had chores to do. I mean, now the best thing for kids today is sports programs. That's the very best thing that kids can be involved in, is sports. Because otherwise, unfortunately, they gravitate to their electronic games, and a lot of them, and JC and I may disagree a little bit on this, a lot of them are violent, and a lot of them, I think, remove them from the reality of killing people. If you can kill people electronically and blood splattered everywhere and people are dying and blowing up and all that stuff, to me, it's got in your mind, it has to remove you a certain amount of mentality away from the reality of that. But the bottom line is, it's true that, they say what is it, the expression, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. And if the mind's idle of a child and they don't have something to do, and there's an awful lot of good social causes that kids could be involved in, like they do in Boy Scouts and a lot of the groups, 4-H and different things. And I think also the structure of society is broken down today. You don't, the home is not what it used to be as far as discipline and instruction and helping kids. I'll get off my soapbox.
Well, can I say something about that?
Right ahead.
I've been watching a lot. This is not just an issue here in Upshur County or in West Virginia. It's a nationwide issue. And it seems that what's really happening is a lot of communities are coming together to help the government. It seems like, I guess in the past decade or two, that communities went ahead and let the government handle what all the issues were as far as law enforcement, incarceration, recidivism, and the community stepped back and thought that they were going to allow the community, the government, the local government, all the way up to the state government, to handle those issues. And I think the communities now have to step back in with 4-H, with Boy Scouts, with different activities for the kids to do. And I know that the Upshur County Commission encourages a lot of that. You do a lot with 4-H, you do a lot with the Boy Scouts, you do a lot with the other community organizations. But something else this Lebanon needs to address as far as the school district is concerned, they're cutting back on art, they're cutting back on bands, they're cutting back on a lot of other issues or ways for kids to get out and do things with their hands as opposed to just athletics, because we know not all kids are athletically inclined and everything. But why did we take away the art band? Why are we taking away the show band? Why did we take away all these other issues? That's a community that has to do that. And this goes back to our school levy. I mean, if we really want to do something, and if the school board wants to do something to help with this issue, particularly with juveniles and drugs and incarceration, then it's up to the citizens to allow the school district to give them the money to address those issues. Don't just give them the money, but at least I know in some of this list here, I saw where they want to address some of the issues we're talking about. The other thing I'd like to ask is, do we have a percentage of exactly what it is at our regional jail as far as violent criminals to non-violent to drug usage? Is it primarily the largest percentage being drug users, or is it actually violent or fraud type white-collar crimes?
Most of it will be drugs and alcohol related.
And a lot of those other crimes, the violent crimes, are also, you can trace that back to the drug crimes, I believe. I mean, it's kind of
It's a circle.
yeah.
Yeah, because they need the money to get the drugs, they might do a violent crime, or they progress to a point with the violence from the drugs. I think it's about time though, and I think not just Upshur County, the Upshur County Commission and the Board of Education, but also the city need to come together and people within the community to address this issue. And I think one of those big ways is with the school board, particularly when it comes to our juvenile delinquents. That's all, I'm off my soapbox.
Well, along with you talking about, Jerry, you know, years ago, Hattonsville, they farmed. They raised potatoes and cows and pigs and supplied a lot of the state institutions. What happened? I don't know. Probably someone come along and said, oh, that's cruel and unusual behavior to make people work when they're in prison. There's probably some kind of regulation that came along from some level. Government said you can't do that anymore.
There was an era of privatization
Right.
where you can do it less expensively by farming it out to private industry or to, you know. So.
And
Thought when you committed a crime and they put you in prison, that you lost your privileges.
Right.
No television.
That's what
Things like that.
I didn't do it again. And once he said,
I mean, we're buying them a TV to watch, buying everything that goes with it, you know. And
yeah.
it just breaks the country up, just doing just things like that. If you put them out there and give them something to do,
Well,
they don't want to do.
Right.
And
Well, go ahead, Bud.
the biggest percentage of the people that you read in the paper is repeat offenders. And I've transported people to jail before, which goes, I don't care, I'll get out sometime. It is home to them. They enjoy the environment, and there's people out here that will get arrested just to go to jail in the wintertime to have a nice warm place to stay and 3 meals a day. So a lot of your criminals are repeat offenders. You take anybody in this room here that would have to serve 24 hours in jail or be locked up, you know what I mean, would absolutely be terrified. To the average person that gets arrested for DUI, domestic, drug-related, to them, it's home. So anytime you look, it's repeat offenders over and over again.
You know, I can tell you from first-hand knowledge, buddy, that is very much correct. And I think perhaps as a county, we should address who those individuals are and address them to do that. But, and I do have first-hand knowledge, being there 24 hours. A lot of these folks, they don't have to do anything. You're absolutely right. They've got themselves a hotel room with food and a TV. And a lot of them don't necessarily want to be there, but they have a problem, as Donnie suggested. And it's something that it needs to be addressed professionally, not within the confines of a jail cell. Because they just get out, get back with whoever it is, and it just starts all over with that circle that Megan talked about. And usually, now that they've had it the first time, the taste, they're gonna step up a little bit further into violence or whatever, because they now know what's gonna be happening there. It's a sad state in there, and I would just love people just to go see who these folks are that are in there. I don't know if you can take tours of Tiger Valley, for instance, or whatever, but when you're there, you see this, your eyes are wide open on exactly a lot of things that Buddy's talking about right there.
Okay, moving right along. The next is review quit claim deed process for Paper Street per request from Bennett Survey.
Dale Bennett came in a few weeks ago
Mhm.
regarding a quick claim deed, and we just wanted to confirm the process and how you go about doing that. And I'm
Okay.
going to work with Dale now on setting up a hearing and notifying the
Okay,
residents.
has to be public notices
Public
and
notice,
hearings.
published in the paper.
I remember that on that last case we had several years ago, that we had to have a public hearing and allow everyone to come in if anybody had any concerns, and you had to give public notice. So it's a process, with due process, I guess that would be called. Okay, well, we're continuing to work on that. That's good. Upshur County Building Permit Report on page 30.
$2 million.
So, lots of things going on in the county. I know. $2,049,000. So the county is growing. Okay, well, we're down to our dog warden report, our cat report, Communications Center's call report, record report, department call, notice of meetings and agendas. So, is there anything else, Megan, that,
Not that I can think of. Got some bills, but other than that,
you gentlemen have anything? All right, well, we will start paying the bills.